All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are talking about one of the best and hottest teams in the National Football League. That is the 10-2 Philadelphia Eagles. They have now won 8 straight football games, and their most recent was a 24-19 road victory against the Baltimore Ravens. And that game finally put this team on the map. It's actually, kind of baffling. It's pretty shocking to me how little this team was talked about in a positive manner. People talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. People like to talk about Jalen Hurts specifically, but they don't choose their schedule. And there have been some games, in the last 8-game win streak that I guess people just, it was easy to gloss over. And I don't really agree. I don't understand it. They took down the Rams on the road right before Baltimore. They took down the Washington Commanders. They demolished Dallas. But then I guess there were some wins like, the Giants, divisional rival, the Browns, Jacksonville, Cincinnati. Scheduling stupid. That stuff just drives me crazy in general because a win is a win. But it took this road victory against Baltimore for this team to finally get some flowers. And it just is really cool because the one thing the Eagles needed to fix this year was the defense, and that's been the exact case since week 6. Philadelphia has allowed only 15.3 points per game, which is second in the league. Even using Sunday's game as a prime example, they pressured Lamar Jackson on over 50% of his dropbacks. They've got 36 sacks on the season. They're on pace for 51. No team surrenders fewer yards per game than the Philadelphia Eagles. Vic Fangio has them playing lights out. And I guess, let's just get into it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. This is only my 3rd ever Eagles video. I haven't made one since the summer. So hit that like button if you haven't already. If you guys want more Eagles videos, let me know down below. But to me, this is definitely the team that can take down the Detroit Lions, because to me, the Detroit Lions, being the number 1 seed in the NFC, they are a really good football team. And finally, the Eagles are starting to get some respect. I saw this really good quote here. It was on like a random YouTube videos, and this was what the guy said. Jalen could walk on water and the media would be mad that he didn't run. The hate on the Eagles needs to be studied. And it's so true to me. Jalen Hurts on Sunday went 11-19 for 118 yards and 1 touchdown. 118 yards throwing the football. He also had a rushing touchdown. But the point is, they went on the road and took down the Baltimore Ravens, a Super Bowl contender, when your quarterback threw for only 118 yards. And obviously that was by design. Now Saquon Barkley has changed every single aspect about this football team. But people, watching sports talk shows all week so far, like watching it in the morning, and everyone's saying is Jalen Hurts the weakest link? What's the weakest link on the Philadelphia Eagles? I think it's Jalen Hurts because of blah blah blah. I don't want Jalen Hurts throwing the football 35 times in a football game. I've seen, can Jalen Hurts bring this team to the Super Bowl? I don't know. I don't know. Seems like a lot. I just saw Jalen Hurts bring his team to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. What do you mean Jalen Hurts is not a Super Bowl caliber quarterback? The last thing I was concerned about with this Eagles team heading into the season was the offense. And now we're seeing what it's like with Saquon Barkley, and it's just the best rushing team in the NFL. It's not even close. They're a really good, talented offense. You got probably one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 duos in Smith and Brown. And you've got a really stud tight end in Dallas Goedert. He might be hitting the IR soon. He got banged up, so we'll keep you updated on that. But the point is, be healthy for the playoffs. So in this season, all I cared about was the defense. And you kind of saw some flashes of guys like Jalen Carter, even Nolan Smith. They had talent, right? But the secondary was not very good. And they draft, and first off, bring back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And they draft Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. And this is one of the best rookie tandem duos in the NFL history, or at least as far as my recent memory goes. I have a rookie cornerback in Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. And what these guys are doing, even shows up on the stat sheet. They're playing out of their minds. And it actually, to even go a little bit further, kind of reminds me of 2022 Kansas City Chiefs, where people were concerned about their secondary, not because of the lack of talent, but because of just the youthfulness. I think Trent McDuffie was a rookie. They had a bunch of rookies, a bunch of young kids on that secondary. And, as you guys know, they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So I still got Darius Slay. Reed did just get down with a concussion. I got CJ. This secondary has been fixed in a matter of an offseason. In their current 8-game winning streak, they lead the NFL, giving up just 13.4 points per game and only 241 total yards. Their 30 sacks and 15 fumbles, forced fumbles in that span are both league highs as well. So you go back to 2022, what was the big concern? To me, it wasn't Jalen Hurts. It had nothing to do with the offense. It was the defense. They were very heavily reliant on their pass rush. And in 2022, the Eagles gave up 121.6 rushing yards per game. That was dead even at 16th in the National Football League. They gave up at least 100 rushing yards 12 times that season. And then obviously in the Super Bowl, they gave up 158 total yards of rushing. This year, the Eagles have the 7th best rushing defense. They're only giving up little under 105 rushing yards per game. If you take away the first 2 games, that dips down to the number 1 metric in the NFL. They're only giving up 94.2 rushing yards per game since week 2. That's the best in the NFL. And you use Baltimore on Sunday as a case in point. Derrick Henry, the 2nd best running back in the National Football League, both with the eyes and statistical, right behind Saquon, 19 carries for 82 yards. He averaged only 4.3 yards per carry. Now, I guess that 4.3 isn't bad by any means, but you just held Derrick Henry to 84 rushing yards on 19 attempts. Like, that's something to take. So if my biggest concern was the defense and my biggest concern was the secondary, that's not a concern anymore. It's just not a concern. They have one of the best defense. They're top 10 offense. They're top 10 defense. They're more so closer to top 5 defensively. So Jalen Hurts even, we go back to the Jalen could walk on water and the media would be mad he didn't run. Jalen Hurts in this 8-game winning streak has 20 combined touchdowns, only 1 interception. The Eagles are 9-0 when A.J. Brown plays. They're 28th in passing yards per game, dead last in attempts. They're only passing on 43.4% of their plays because I have Saquon Barkley. You have Saquon Barkley. He leads the NFL in carries at 246, leads the NFL in yards at 1,499, yards per attempt at 6.1, which is a college football number. He also has 267 yards through the air. He's got 13 combined touchdowns. He's on pace to break the NFL record, and he's literally on pace to run for 2,123 rushing yards. So, yeah, if I had to take a guess right now, I would say the NFC Championship game is going to come down to the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. And what both of these two teams are fighting for right now is not, just make the playoffs. We can win a playoff game. They're fighting for the number 1 seed. Because you could make a very real argument between those two teams, or even just any team in the NFC in general. Whoever gets that number 1 seed, whoever's got that home field advantage, they could be on their way to a Super Bowl. That's all we got for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. If you guys want more Eagles videos, please let me know down below. But guys, give me your thoughts on this Eagles team. Is it their season? How far can they go? We'll see you in a couple of days. Peace.